It's hat day here because my hair is driving me crazy. So let's start off with a little TMI, shall we? There are 3 points to this triangle which are all connected. The first is missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. I was recently on a page of someone who is involved in raising the awareness of this situation, which I consider to be an epidemic that doesn't get a lot of traction, if any, in mainstream media. Face after face on these pages of mostly women and some men who go missing, never to be found again. Missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, boys, let's say people, is a cross-border problem. It happens in the States as well as Canada, but it seems to be more associated with Canada, particularly the West Coast and BC and the Highway of Tears. But we'll talk about that in another rant in another time. The second point is the unspoken epidemic of Black women and girls who are going missing and not found if they are looked for at all. This is from a combination of systemic racism, violence, and human trafficking. Black women and girls make up 36% of the women and girls who go missing, which is staggering in proportion to the population. They are disproportionately affected by human trafficking, which goes on both in the US and internationally. The third point is the international multi-generational Epstein sex trafficking organization, because it is an organized operation as opposed to just some crime of opportunity by some rando attacker somewhere. 3 things, like points on a triangle, that have the same source and reason for existing. All of these women and girls are seen as just a body, to be used any way they want, then tossed aside when it ceases to serve its purpose any further. It reminds me of Aaliyah Rahman, the brave woman who testified about her abduction off the street by ICE. She said that in the detention facility, the agents referred to the people taken as bodies, as in, I've got 9 bodies here, what do you want me to do with them? Or, there's a body in that room. Or, here's another body, where do you want it? Bodies. Not people. No names, just a body. It's the same thing for all 3 of these groups. Indigenous women, people, who are reported missing are met with, they're probably partying, or they're on a bender sleeping it off. You know how they are. Black women are seen as wayward, provocative, sexually forward, and therefore maybe asking for it, or they're just shacked up with their baby daddy, even when they're still children themselves. And the Epstein victims and survivors were already either street kids without family, or they came from some damaged families who either took part in their abuses or turned a blind eye. Either way, they all fall under the category of just a body, not worthy of investigation, not believable. Perhaps because the stories are just too horrific for decent people to believe, or just ignored because of the abject and pervasive racism that affects these countries. All of it supported by how we raise our male children and how much we are willing to tolerate from them. Powerful men in business, entertainment, and politics have no boundaries or limits when they are essentially amoral and untouchable. No, as we like to say, it is not all men, but it is always men. And a few disgusting women thrown in, I'll give you that. This can change, but you have to start looking into the darkness and show these women, female and male children, that they are more than just a body. Educate yourselves, speak up, and show them that there are more of us than them.